Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the news beat presented to you by Ladies Like and Survivor. Follow the beat from the studio to the street. Info with the flow keeps you sharp and in the know. Sit back, relax, enjoy the news. Follow. There's an estimated 1.5 million people living with HIV in Uganda. And over the years, the new HIV infections have increased in number. Female adolescents make up the majority of the new infections, but there has been a reduction in mother-child HIV transmission.
Much as there have been improved access to antiretroviral drugs in Uganda, many patients living with HIV still have to struggle with the discrimination stigma, which has led to increased cases of depression, causing some to even discontinue their medication.
This is one of the reasons why biologist Dr. Etho Nachimuli Mpungu pioneered a treatment to fight the depression among AIDS patients.
Dr. Nachimuli can now have the coveted Elsevier Foundation Award to her many achievements. She was among the 5 winners who were honored for their scientific accomplishments. They were also celebrated for mentoring young female science students.
The Elsevier Foundation Award targets female scientists and researchers in the developing world at the beginning of their careers.
Dr. Nachimuli was recognized for using psychotherapy as treatment of depression in patients with HIV.
Her model helps people living with AIDS to regain self-esteem and dignity, and a desire to fully participate and be active members of their communities.
She is now working with service providers to integrate depression screening with HIV treatment and involving local communities in discussions of depression and discrimination of HIV patients.
Newsbeat salutes Dr. Etho Nachimuli and the other 2016 Elsevier Foundation Award winners from Peru, Nepal, Indonesia, and Yemen, and with whom they share the honors.
15 years ago, Laurent Desire Kabila was assassinated and immediately replaced by no other than his son, Joseph Kabila, who took power in 2001. He has been in power for 2 terms, and that means his mandate is over. But he wants to call for a constitutional makeover. A big crisis is brewing, while the rest of the world is watching closely, eager to know who their next business partner will be. Anyone who give up their own country for a fee. The world community is pointing at Burundi, reminding everyone that no president can live in immunity if he has taken part in spoiling and exploiting his people and his country. But President Kabila still stands strong, although peace has long gone. He still has admirers in Kinshasa who would do anything for their beloved Kabila. Let's hope a democratic change will be the solution, and the Congolese won't have to rely on conflict resolutions. African culture is being boosted by technology. Our reporter MC Yala is here with the details.
Video Gamer creates games that celebrates African culture. Video game development is a huge industry, and this year Africa will make video game history with the release of a role-play game created by Kiro Games, a studio in Cameroon started in 2003 by Madiba Olivia and his friends. They first operated under the name Madiba Corporation Studio, but later named it Kiro, short for Kiroho Mauno, a Swahili phrase that means spiritual vision. When Olivia began to make Cameroon's first video game, he had $100 and faced daily power outages. But the biggest challenge still was getting financial backers. People thought it was a scam and refused to be investors. The Ministry of Arts and Culture gave the studio credibility, which is just what is needed to be taken seriously. Olivia took a crowdfunding and used a Kickstarter campaign and raised over $50,000 for his role-play game. Aurion, Legacy of the Kori Odan, is set on planet Auriona. The hero is Enzo Kori Odan, the Prince of Zama, a country threatened by a coup and political drama. Enzo and his wife Erin have to fight for the throne and use their ancestors' energy to protect their home. Olivia says the game is very symbolic of African challenges and geopolitics. Aurion is inspired by African mythology and folklore, unlike top African games like Desktop, Dungeons and Broforce, which do not reflect or celebrate their African source. The studio plans to expand and even make cartoons. Kiro has set a new standard in Africa and Cameroon. I'm MC Yala, reporting for Newsbeat.
Thank you, MC Yala, for that report. America's Netflix is expanding to 190 nations, but Lagos-born Iroko TV is already changing the conversation, making moves to expand across the continent and offer African homegrown Nollywood content. Iroko TV secured $99 million from investors, including Canal Plus from France, to help them reach further. They use a mobile-only strategy where subscribers download an app and pay a monthly fee to watch unlimited streaming Nollywood and African movies, since data usage is expensive in most African countries. Iroko TV developed an app to stream a low bandwidth so customers that can't afford large bundles professionals can still use the service. Jason Joku founded Iroko TV when he was inspired by his mother who loved watching Nollywood movies like so many others. Nollywood fans in the diaspora had trouble finding new releases, so they shared illegal films on YouTube to get them overseas. Joku wondered if he could provide a legal service to stream African films to the same audience. So, Iroko TV was born and baptized the Netflix of Africa, and now plans to produce 300 hours of content just this year. 65,000 Iroko TV customers come from the diaspora, and they have countless customers on the continent starting from Nigeria. Now they are in direct competition with Netflix, which is coming to Africa. That was the news of the bit. Next week will be another hit, Still Ladies Like and Survivor. Reporting live and direct with love and respect. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.